FMS had some amazing releases in 2023, and I realised a few days ago there's still some boxes left unopened in my garage, and it's 3 of their brand new RC cars. Well, they're still kind of new, they've been out a couple of months. Today we're taking a look at the new FMS fully licensed Unimog, which is an update to the Mogrich that I reviewed last year, the new FPV mini car known as the Flush 30, and the epic looking mini Bashan inspired 1/24th scale Colorado. Now, as I'm reviewing 3 products in one, this video is going to be a little bit more brief than usual, but if you want to see full length reviews of all of the products featured, I will leave some links down below so you can head over to some other channels and check those out. Starting with the fully licensed 1966 Mercedes Unimog, and this is pretty much identical to the Mogrich apart from some minor changes. And the biggest change is this is now based on the FCX24 platform, and it has pull-to axles. And some channels have pointed out that this thing does like to tilt over, and as you can see on my one, it's pretty much the same. It does like to tilt to one side, and I think the battery is right over on the left, and the weight of that could be causing that. Now, FMS are well known for their gorgeous scale bodies, and this is no exception. So in the box we have the usual FMS style transmitter. These are really good. We have a black and white manual. Here we have our tiny little LiPo. It's a 380 milliamp hour 2S, and in this bag here it looks like we've got a USB charger, a cross wrench, there's some shock preload spacers in there, and we've also got some decals. So again, this is based on the FCX24 platform, which we have seen before, and it does come with plastic drive shafts, pull-to axles, oil-filled shocks, plastic links and chassis. It has locked axles, so it is permanent 4-wheel drive, fully proportional steering and throttle, an axle mounted servo, and down there we have another little servo which controls the 2-speed transmission, and this has to be one of the best setups around. So I gave this thing a little test run, and just like the Mogrich, it actually performed really well. The tyres are nice and grippy, and the shocks felt really good. Now, I think the tilting issue is probably down to the battery. Maybe we can stick some shock preload spacers on there and we can try and correct it. But even so, this little truck still performed really well. And the good thing about the FCX24 platform is there's loads of aftermarket upgrades being released. It's a very solid platform, and I think it's one of the best we've seen from FMS. And if you're not really into the heavy rock crawling side of things, these little scale trucks are really good. Moving on, let's take a look at the mini FPV car, the Flush 30, which is something entirely different from FMS. So this tiny little FPV car is based on a BMW 3 Series, and it's a nice change from the usual scale stuff we see from FMS. So in the box we have the car itself. Of course we have the magnetic FPV camera, and that's very simple to fit. Now the transmitter looks familiar. I've seen something similar to this before, and you can adjust your throttle trim, steering trim. You can also adjust your LED lighting, because this thing has a huge amount of LED lights. It's kind of crazy how much they've managed to fit in such a small little car. We have the FPV goggles. It doesn't come with an SD card though, so if you want to record your footage, you will need one of those. We have a couple of aerials for the goggles, a video cable, and also a charger for the car. Now, just because this little car is so small, please don't be fooled by that, because it's still fully proportional, and this one actually has 2 motors, and it looks like one motor controls the left side and one motor controls the right. I'm not quite sure how that's going to perform, but let's find out now. So I gave this a very quick test in my kitchen, and what I noticed was the front wheels don't actually turn. Now, the way this thing turns is one of the back wheels will slow down, the other side will speed up, and that is how it turns. This was really fun with the FPV camera. I made a very small course, and it was a huge amount of fun driving around. Now, this may not be something I'm going to use all the time, but it's certainly something to have fun with on a rainy day. Finally, we have the one I'm most excited about. This is the 1/24th scale Chevy Colorado. And I actually think this is going to be one of the best little cars we've seen so far, and perfect if you're looking to have fun with something in your backyard. So in the box we have the truck itself and our favourite FMS style transmitter. Don't forget you can switch between high and low gear on these models using the channel 3 switch here. Of course we've got our steering trim and throttle trim adjustments, a black and white manual. In this little bag here we have a cross wrench, a USB charger. We've also got some shock preload spacers, and the battery actually comes pre-installed on this one. And to take a look at that, we need to take off the body, and this has a clipless body system, as you can see, and it's actually quite simple to get under there. We just need to press the 2 tabs here, and then the body just pops off. So let's have a look at the battery. So this is one of the largest batteries I've seen in an FMS car, and it's probably because this thing is Basher inspired and you will be looking for a bit more runtime. So electronics wise, we have our 2-in-1 ESC and receiver. There we have a 370 size brush motor. We have 2 mini servos at the front there. One is for the 2-speed transmission and the other one is for the fully proportional steering. Everything on this is plastic, although it does come with metal drive shafts. We've got a nice little wheelie bar on the back there, and I think that's going to come in handy. And the shocks on this feel really good for a 1/24 scale car. The shocks are actually really nice. The tyres are also nice and grippy, and that is pretty much it when it comes to this little car. Now this is an entirely new platform for FMS. It's known as the FMT24. I think we're going to be seeing more from this year, and I also hope we see some aftermarket upgrades. So how does this one run then? Well, low gear is kind of unnecessary on this because it's not made for crawling. It's meant to be a mini basher. So even though it's nice having that 2-speed transmission, I don't think we really need it. Now once you put this thing into high gear, it is a huge amount of fun, and it's also pretty quick. Now this will easily handle some small jumps. It will also handle off-road terrain pretty well as well, and my 5-year-old really enjoyed this when I let him have a go in the garden, and he actually said this is one of his favourite little cars ever. So there we go then guys, 3 epic new products from the guys at FMS. I think my favourite one is the 1/24 scale Colorado. My 5-year-old approves, and so do I. Let me know what you think of these cars in the comment section down below. I really do love FMS. They have some great products, and I think they're going to have a really good 2024. And if you want to buy any of the cars featured in today's video, I will leave links down below so you can head over to the FMS website and check them out. Cheers for watching, see you on the next one, take care. Now if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more from FMS on my channel, click one of these videos now.